Is Tucker doing the camp next week for the Humane Society?
No,
Or
he's doing the one in July.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think it's like the second week, maybe.
Probably because that first week is 4th of July, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Every now and then I do in fact do that. Makes sense and all. Doesn't happen
How's
often, but
Caitlin? How's Caitlin feeling? Speaking of smart
she is doing a
conversations.
lot better.
Good.
She's still not like super happy, but
Mm,
'tis life.
yeah.
Like this is like the most normal she's felt since her surgery.
Oh, well,
So
that's a step in the right direction, at least.
yeah, so we'll take it and then move on. So,
Yeah.
and then
One day at a time, still, I'm sure.
one day at a fucking time. Let's
It's
hope it
wild.
all does not go sideways.
Just wild.
I mean, I really hope she'll feel up to going to the Outer Banks for 4th of July, but if not,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll see.
Can she swim right now, or could she not go in the water?
They did not say not to,
Okay.
so I really don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so usually she avoids the water to begin with, just
Mm.
because Bobby, when he gets in a pool, it's game on, and there's a reason I have a bad back. So, um,
That's funny.
isn't it? It's so much fun. My back hurts all the fucking time. Then again, I also crawl
There's
around all
something
day.
really amazing about getting old. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Every day I'm like, what is this new pain?
What is this? Oh, this does hurt a lot. You're right. Thank you. Thank you, body,
Like
for
Jack
reminding me that I'm
Skellington.
still
What's
alive.
this? What's this?
Wait, this fucking hurts. What's this? Ow! And welcome back to First, Last, and Best. I know we took a little bit of time off. Honestly, I can explain. Just between the end of the school year, my wife has kidney stones and has needed surgery to correct that. It's just been a crazy several weeks. So, have not been able to get this episode together as expediently as I wanted to. But that's okay. We are here. This is all for fun. I'm making no money off of this, and it's not like anyone really listens to this show anyway. So we are back with a brand new episode with a brand new guest host, and I will be introducing them in just a moment. But first, let's go to the socials. We are on Facebook and Instagram at FL&B Podcast. We are over on TikTok, even though I really don't use it. You can find the show on Apple Music. You can find it on Spotify. Basically, wherever you're listening to it right now is where you can find it. I mean, you've obviously found it because you're listening to us right now. So, so this week is going to be a little bit of a different episode, a little bit of a different structure to how the episode is supposed to go. Um, and I will be getting into that in just a moment, right after I introduce our very special guest host, because this guest host is the most special of special guest hosts. She is my sister from another mister. She has been one of my truly dear friends for more years than I'd really care to say. Her back hurts as much as mine does. But most of all, much like Cher, Bono, and Sting, she is only known by one name, or at least to me, and that is my one and only favorite friend, Foster. Foster, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, what an intro. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and for more than one reason. But I got to say, Bobby, I love you just as much. Thank you for all of that.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's doing introductions. I have found over the years in every podcast that I've done, I am good at introductions. I could do that. Everything else, I'm garbage at. But
That's hilarious.
introductions, I'm right there. I'm there for it.
Well, I got to say,
Okay.
Humphrey got a little annoyed that he wasn't part of the introduction. So I
Oh, I'm
brought him up
so
here just
sorry.
to stop
Oh,
the
it's
barking.
one of
So
your many puppies.
that's right. Humphrey might join for a little bit because
That's
he's
fine. All dogs
he's
are allowed.
invested. He's emo.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's fine. It works. So, before we get into today's subject, I gotta ask, Foster, what have you been listening to lately?
Oh God. That's such a fun question because I feel like it changes day to day in such a drastic manner, but then also depending on the playlist, song to song, which is
That's
also
true.
entertaining,
That is
which is
very,
really
very
fun
true.
out like in the backyard with the pool. And
Yeah.
then you're listening to something, like Dirty Heads or Soja or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Taylor Swift comes on and you're like, wait a minute, who's listening? Is everybody all right around here? That was a quick transition.
Like, who put this on? I'm confused. That is nice
So
though.
that kind of led you into it a little bit, but I've been listening to a little bit of that like California reggae scene this time of year.
Oh,
I
nice.
get big into that. Dirty Heads, Soja, which I already kind of mentioned a little bit, Sublime with Rome,
Yep.
like all of
Yep.
those kind of guys, and just kind of mellow out and enjoy the summer a little bit.
That's honestly a good way to go. That honestly
Yeah,
helps summer go by a lot better, is like
it
depending on what
does.
music you're listening to.
Absolutely,
So,
it's definitely a good vibe, a good mood.
oh yeah, definitely. I honestly, come here. Patty's
No,
joining us now.
oh,
It's
Hattie,
it's the dog episode here at First, Last, and
nice.
Best because Princess Hatterina Consuela here did not want to be left out. So,
And she shouldn't be.
as she shouldn't be.
Not a
So,
princess should be like
actually,
that.
since yesterday, other than the band or musician we'll be talking about today, uh, did you see the trailer for Deliver Me from Nowhere, the Bruce Springsteen movie?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. It's
Jeremy
Billy
Allen White
Allen.
plays Bruce Springsteen.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Dude, he looks exactly like he is spot
Really?
on. It is,
Wow.
but ever since like I started like since yesterday, I started listening to Bruce Springsteen because I mean,
Oh,
but that's the thing, like that's the kind of stuff like I remember listening to when I was a kid. Like dad would
right.
put the vinyls on and we'd listen to like Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel and like all these other music, all these other
Hell yeah.
bands and whatnot. And it's just like, so like I just started listening to Bruce Springsteen last night while I was giving Bobby his bath and just like Thunder Road and Born to Run and Nebraska
Oh,
and
nice.
oh my gosh,
Nice.
it just took me down memory lane.
I love
So
that.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that one out. I
it
like all
looks
these
good.
biopics that we've been doing lately. It's kind of weird to be
Yeah,
at a time in our life where we're alive for the artist and the biopic because
yeah,
I
I
feel
know,
like
right?
growing up, that's not how it was. They were always dead people,
Yeah, between like Bohemian Rhapsody with like Freddie
Yes,
Mercury and then the
yes,
Bob Dylan movie that came out last year, now Bruce Springsteen.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm waiting for a Billy Joel biopic. Like
I'm sure it's gonna come.
I kind of want to see it. I
Yeah,
hope it happens.
I think that would
So,
be amazing. I'd love to see a Stevie Nicks one too, or a Fleetwood Mac or
ooh,
something. I think that would
Fleetwood
be
Mac.
fun. I know there's a Beatles one that they're working on now too.
I would watch that. I would
Yeah.
see it. I would like to see a
Hmm.
biopic on Henry Rollins,
Oh, that would
the
be
lead singer
fun.
from Black Flag.
That would
I
be
would.
fun.
I am here for it because he's an actor now, or he
You're
has
right.
been since like the '90s. He was in Airheads, that Adam
Oh,
Sandler,
that's
Brendan Fraser movie.
right.
Yeah, he's just been in
Wow.
a lot of like he just
Blast from the
randomly shows
past.
up in movies. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all
It's
right,
fun.
so
I like that they're giving it that storyteller element that we've lost for so many years. When we lost music videos and things like storytellers, or what was the acoustic one that was on MTV? Unplugged. There it is.
unplugged.
Those types of things where we got the background, we got the stories and those kinds of things. Like it just we knew the artist better, than I
Yeah.
feel
Oh,
like you get to
absolutely.
know today. So
Yes.
it's a lost art. I love that they found another way to kind of bring it back in a biopic.
I do kind of miss the unplugged. Because what?
Yeah,
Nirvana, Dashboard, obviously.
yeah.
Uh,
Alanis Morissette
oh
did it.
yeah. I
There
mean, there
was a
were
lot of
quite a few, and it
good
was
ones.
really good.
Yeah.
No, I love a good acoustic album.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. They don't make those like they used to anymore
no,
either.
they don't. I know a few years back, maybe this was like 10 years ago, I don't remember. Alkaline Trio like put out an acoustic
Yeah.
album. Like it was still a lot of like their stuff, like their
I
earlier
vaguely
stuff,
remember
but
that now that you say that.
it's called like
It,
Damnesia or something like that.
oh wow. Yeah, no, maybe I don't remember that one then actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I found it on vinyl, but it was like 50, $60 or something like that. So I ended up not getting it. But
Oh wow. Wow.
so, all
That's
right. So,
hilarious.
so let us venture forth into our main topic of discussion for the evening, because
It's
as
not
I
dog.
mentioned, it's not a dog. Uh, it's a little different because a lot of the bands that I've covered in this show, both in the initial iteration of First, Last, and Best, and this new style that I've brought forth the last few episodes, um, the bands that we focused on have had multiple albums and what feels like a very long and distinguished career. The person we're going to be talking about tonight has had a very long and distinguished career. However, it has happened in three different phases. And that is Andrew McMahon. Starting off with something corporate, then moving on to Jax, and then moving into Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. Each iteration of Andrew McMahon's, each phase of his musical life has been like, there's what? Leaving through the, other than like Audio Boxer, like the
Mhm,
EPs,
mhm.
uh, the only two full-length albums I remember is Leaving Through the Window and then North.
Correct.
And then with Jax, it was Everything in Transit,
Hmm.
then The Glass Passenger, and then People and Things.
Correct.
And then I know with Andrew, I think this he just released his fourth album or his fourth
Yeah,
studio
I
album
think
with
he's at
Andrew
four
McMahon, I
or
believe.
five now.
Yeah. So it's kind of you could probably dissect Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. Um, you're the one that got down, Hattie. You're the one that went over there.
I know
Don't
Humphrey's
blame
sitting
me.
all nice and still here. It's like I don't
Yeah.
have a dog.
Oh no, she wanted to get on the couch and now she's mad at me for being on the couch. So, but like you probably dissect Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. I think there might be enough albums there to where you probably could do it the way I normally do it, but I don't want to do that. I want to talk about Andrew McMahon's entire career because it has been a very long career, starting off in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and especially like where we found him was something corporate. I mean, it's just, and you don't understand. Foster is one of the most diehard Andrew fans I've ever met in my entire life.
Not
Uh,
trying to make it weird, but
what we saw Andrew. Oh, don't, that was my finger. Thank you very much. She just bit my finger really hard. You got
oh,
here. Take your hand.
Patty, how
Yeah,
rude.
yes, very rude. Here, take that. Foster said you're being rude, so stop being rude. We're, we got to be nice because families. Okay, fine. Get back over here. Jesus Christ.
There you
This is
go.
like gonna be the
Poor
hardest
Patty.
episode just because of Hattie. You were never
It's
this
okay.
annoying when I was doing other stuff. I don't know what you're doing. I wish you'd
We're
stop.
parents. We know how to multitask. Parents and
And
animal owners too. So if
that's
we don't know how to
true.
multitask, I don't know who
Yeah,
does.
right. Yes, it is. Go us. We're so good
Yeah,
at it. So, but
true.
when we saw Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness and Dashboard, what was that? Like 3 years ago at this point? Where we met
Uh,
Dave. Stop clicking the mouse.
Probably about that. 3 or 4. You know
Yeah.
what? I have the 2022. So yeah,
So yeah, three
3 years
years
ago.
ago.
I have the
And
poster
I
right up
just
behind me.
remember like you like we were like third row, I think, and you just like kind of
Something
pushed
like that.
yourself
We were so
forward
close.
because there wasn't a lot of people in front of us for one reason or another. And just like you were like, Andrew's right there, I must go touch
Yeah,
him. So I was like, oh, Foster, you're so
it did help.
wonderful.
I felt like I was 20 all over again. It was great.
This is
Andrew acted like we were both 20 at the same time. Like,
I know, right?
no.
He does like there are certain bands and musicians that kind of like transport you back to a day when you
It's true.
were much more invincible than you are now.
It's true.
because
Yeah.
I do not feel invincible all that often, but
No, but there's something about being at an Andrew show because
that's
he brings
true.
so much energy. It doesn't matter which band he's with, the energy that
Yeah,
he brings is just another level. And if he's having fun, you're having fun. There's just no way not to with him.
that's true. Although I will say, despite my love for something corporate, I've never seen them live. Still haven't. Maybe one day if there's
We're gonna work
another
on that.
tour,
We're
we'll
gonna
work
work
on
on
that. We'll
that
get
one of
there.
these days.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, the first time I saw him live, um, I had just moved back to Virginia after I got out of the Coast Guard. Caitlin and I had been
Mm.
dating for like a month, maybe
Uh-huh.
month and a half, and it was Warped Tour. And she was the one who
Oh.
introduced me to Jack's Mannequin because I didn't know
Oh,
Andrew was
no
doing
way.
anything. So Caitlin
Right.
introduced me to Jack's, and I was like, okay. And it kind of sucked because Jack's was the opening act of Warped Tour. So you had to rush through the
What?
gates and run to the
Yeah.
stage if you wanted to see Jack's Mannequin play.
Yeah.
So, but that was the first time I'd ever seen Jax play, and it was or Andrew McMahon play, and but it was all Jack's Mannequin stuff, so there's no something
Right.
corporate at
Right.
all, which was fine because Jax was still an incredible
Yeah.
like just all the songs. It seems like every single phase that he does, he always brings like a certain magic with him,
Oh, I totally agree.
and it's like just it's just good.
Yes.
Although I will admit I do like Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness because he literally takes all three phases and
Yes.
incorporates it into the show.
I completely agree with you. It's I didn't know going the first time to see Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness that I was going to get to relive my youth
Yeah,
in Jack's Mannequin and something corporate. And then after that first time of seeing it and seeing that it was everything, it like hooked me on him even more. Like to know
yeah,
that we're not just going to focus here because this is my new project or that kind of thing. Like he's in it for the love of the music.
yeah,
He holds on to the passion for that music. Whereas, like I get it. So many times you write album after album after album. I would imagine you get tired of songs, you get tired of doing things. And I'm not
yeah.
saying that he doesn't have songs that he probably is tired of doing, but he he just and that passion is just so unbeatable in a live performance that he you can tell that he still loves every song
Oh yeah,
that he wrote.
especially
I mean, or that
yeah,
that was in the band or whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So being able to continue to play live and to bring those songs to
Yes.
the people who have faithfully followed
Yes.
him through the years.
Yes.
I
100%.
mean, he's probably one of my favorite artists to see live.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a few
Definitely
bands,
mine.
there are a few bands at this point in my life where, if I've seen them once, sometimes I'm like, all right. Actually, no, I take that back. I will go to a concert of anytime I possibly can. So, but there are some bands I will say that I'm just like, all right, I've seen you once, I'm good.
Right. Sure.
But
Sure.
Andrew, anytime he rolls through, if I can figure out a way to
Yeah.
go, I'm gonna go. Because when you
Yeah.
text, did I text you or did you text me when Jax came?
I think you
Like
found
when the
out
tickets
about
went on
Jack
sale.
before I did.
That's right. I saw
Usually
that and I
I'm
was
on
like, we
pulse,
should.
but not this time. I missed it.
So, but I remember Caitlin being upset with me. She's like, "Why didn't you get me a ticket?" I was like, "Well, someone needs to watch Bobby."
Sorry. You
Sorry,
didn't
I
think
didn't
that
think about
all
it
the
this
way
time.
through.
No. And Caitlin was originally like, "Well, I can find a ticket," and but it's like you just had surgery and
Yeah.
perchance not.
Yeah.
So,
It's
and
almost like we knew she was gonna have this and she couldn't come with us. So we
exactly.
were
So
saving her.
we really
We're
were.
heroes,
Go,
Bobby.
we're
We're
so
heroes.
thoughtful. We are heroes. Go us. So with all this in mind, with it being slightly difficult to pin down Andrew McMahon's first, last, and best,
Sure.
I've decided we're just going to talk about all three phases.
I love it.
And we're going to talk about the album that either means the most to us or what we think is the best album from all three phases.
Okay.
which means we have to start at the beginning, and that is with something corporate.
Oh yes.
And I really don't think there's going to be an argument between the two of us on what the best album is, because as much as I enjoyed North, Leaving Through the Window
There's no
has
question.
song after song after
Yeah.
song after song, starting with, what was it? I Want to Save You, I think is the first track on the album,
Uh-huh.
going all the way through Globes and Maps.
Yes.
Like there's not a single skippable song on that album.
It's true. It's a banger from the first to the end, just like you said. And there's such a good flow of that album too. I feel like
Yes,
the way that they incorporate the slow with the faster songs and that kind of thing. Like everything is just packaged very well together. And I think
absolutely.
that's a big nod to Drive Through Records too, because that was such a big emo vibe at the time. I mean, if they didn't put out that first album in a killer way for any of those drive through bands,
Oh yeah.
were they going to have a second? Probably not.
And that's the thing, a lot, especially on Drive Through, a lot of those bands, like that first album was their best album.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
Say It Like You Mean It by the Starting Line
Yes. Oh,
was
such a great album.
honestly, everything after that kind of sucked.
Yes, agreed.
I may
Agreed.
be like in the minority of especially Starting Line fans.
Yeah.
I actually saw them while I was stationed in Connecticut.
Oh, did
It
you?
was actually the first
I never
time I
saw
saw it
them.
was the first time I saw 4 Years Strong. They
Oh,
were
nice.
opening for the Starting Line.
Uh,
And I was expecting to hear like a bunch of stuff from Say It Like You Mean It. I was like
yeah.
not a single song.
Wow.
I was so disappointed. It was the
That's
first time I got more hyped for an opening band than I did the band that closed.
right.
So well, if I was intentionally there for the closer,
Right.
and it was one of the opening bands that actually meant more to me.
I love that.
So,
That's happened to me once or twice. One time in particular that really stands out in my mind, but it's a completely different genre of music. But it was more the reggae vibe.
nothing
But I
wrong with
love
that.
it when that happens. It's like such a fun, like, oh my god, I'm glad that I came to see these smaller bands.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's such fun energy when
Because
you
you
give
find
music
some
a
good
shot.
stuff with that.
Absolutely. And sometimes
So,
they're better to see live before you hear that album because you might
oh
have
yeah.
just tossed them to the side without that, again, that energy, that performance that comes with it is just a live music's the best, man. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's once you get down to it, yes, live music is legitimately the best. I
It's
I
true.
I am a little disappointed in myself. I didn't go to Warped Tour, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I also saw some of the set times and I was just like, I don't know. It did not thrill me like I thought it would.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
it sounds like it would have been a really hot day, so
oh,
maybe
and then
maybe
I think there
before
was
that.
like a busted pipe or something on the second day or something like
Oh
that.
no.
I
I
thought
didn't
people
even
having
hear
to
about that.
like I saw a video on like TikTok or something like that
Oh
where
wow.
people had to like walk through not necessarily sewage, but it
Oh
was I'm like, okay, maybe I'm glad I didn't go.
yeah. Because I probably would have
So
been in flip flops.
yeah, and that would not have been good. That would have been the opposite of good. Although I
So
will say not seeing Sublime was probably like
sure.
the only band that I regret not going to was
Yeah,
not being able to see Sublime.
I get that. I saw them last summer. I saw Sublime and then I saw Sublime with Rome, which was interesting to see both. I gotta say, I kind of enjoyed Sublime with Rome a little bit more just because they do new stuff too. Like I love
Yeah,
Sublime. Don't get me wrong, love them forever. How can you not? But we've been listening to that album for a really long time now.
that's true. I mean, you're there's no lie in that at all. So
It's all love, but
yes, that's that it was an amazing album. But they're actually writing new stuff now. So
oh, are
hopefully
they?
we
Oh, that's awesome. Now that they've
well
got
now that
they've pulled,
Jacob's in the band.
yeah, that's
Not
awesome.
Jake, is it? Yeah, it's Jacob now.
I think it's
No.
Jacob. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's Jacob.
Bradley Knoll is dad.
Dad. Yep.
So Jake,
Mhm.
yes, it's Jacob Noel. All right,
Yeah.
great. But back to something corporate. I
Yeah.
mean, this is what happens when Foster and
We don't
I,
have ADHD.
no, not at all. We just kind of bounce around everywhere. But I like that
That's right.
we're talking about the flow of the album, and it is starts out predominantly with like more faster paced songs,
Yeah.
like I Want to Save You and Punk Rock Princess. I Woke Up in a Car. Obviously, If You See Jordan, which
Yes.
is always still fun to
Such a fun
sing
song.
live.
Such a
But
fun
then
song.
you go into
Yes.
the astronaut,
Fuck you,
and
Jordan.
yeah, fuck you, Jordan. Uh, but you start to get into like the kind of slower and more like meaningful. And I love that like it was so completely different than everything else we were listening to at the time
Yes.
because you had like Newfound Glory and you had Midtown and like all
Yes.
these other like pop punk bands that still near and dear to my heart every single
Sure.
day.
Sure.
But the fact that you also have this band that is like you got the guitars, you got the drums, you got the bass, and a piano, not a keyboard, a piano right
That's
there on
right.
stage. And it's
Center
still,
of stage.
it's almost like that guy who plays playing the banjo at the show,
Yeah.
because that dude was rocking hard on a banjo. And I had never seen that before. And I've
That
seen the
was
Dropkick
pretty
Murphys, so
wild.
that was pretty wild. But like,
But you're right. And actually in Andrew's book, the Three Pianos book, which
great
uh
book.
highly recommend reading.
Yes.
Obviously I know you've read it
Yes.
too. It helps to just paint more of that picture of Andrew and all of that turmoil that we all knew he was going through, which I know we're going
Oh
to hit
yeah.
on at some point in time with the big leukemia piece of his life. But
Oh yeah.
it really, I lost my train of thought because I started thinking about leukemia now. See, and I was trying not to allude us to that part, but here we are.
Here we are
But
once
he kind of
again.
mentioned even in there that for them too it was kind of a surprise to fall into this punk
Yeah.
rock Warped Tour scene because they didn't feel like they felt in. But it's so crazy because to bounce from those bands at Warped Tour, it felt like they fit in. Like I don't remember second guessing like this isn't punk rock. Like they felt like they should be there. They felt different in their own way, but not that they didn't fit in with the genre. Are you hearing the same
Well,
thunderstorm that I am right now?
yes, I am. It
Here's
just
hoping we
I
keep power.
let's see what the hell happens. This is just God telling me, we don't need to do this episode. Uh, no, but it's that's the thing. It's like Warped Tour was kind of like the few festivals where it's like you were allowed to be different.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
everyone had to play. I mean, obviously you had like the Vandals and you had
Yeah,
Bad Religion and you had like these punk
Rancid,
bands, Rancid. Then you had
MFDS.
the pop punk. Then you had like rappers there and
Right.
Michelle Branch played Warped Tour at one point. And it just it shouldn't have made sense for a
Right.
band that is piano led
Right.
to be on Warped Tour, but because it didn't make sense, it made perfect sense, I guess
Exactly.
is the
That's
best
what
way to
punk
put
rock
it.
is, right? As long as
Exactly.
it
It doesn't need to make sense. That's why it
exactly.
makes sense. So,
Exactly.
but this album is just Leaving Through the Window is perfect.
It
Like
is.
it's
It,
there's not much to say other than that. I mean, it's just
it's true.
between
It's
the
true.
flow and the vibe and everything about it, there's so many great songs that he still plays to this day,
Oh yeah.
which makes me so happy.
It
So,
does, and I love that he doesn't forget that we've been there for that for as long as
exactly.
we have. I don't know if you remember it or not, but for some reason, this thing that he said has like stuck in my head since we went and saw him with Dashboard. It was Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness and Dashboard's tour. It was called Hello Gone Days. Again, posters right up there. But um he said at one point in time during that show or the beginning of his set maybe something like thank you for sticking with me for these 20 plus years. I know I've made it hard to follow along because of the name changes along the way.
Like, I mean, that's true for me
It
because I
is.
thought he just kind of like faded
It's
into obscurity. Like Something Corporate was
exactly.
just those two albums and that was that. And
Exactly.
then if it wasn't for Caitlin, I would have been like, Andrew who?
Right.
I don't even
Right.
know who Andrew McMahon is.
Well, if it
So
wasn't for Warp Tour, I never would have known about Jax because Warp Tour was when they started handing out the EPs saying, hey, something corporate is no more. Here's this new band. It's still Andrew. And we were like, wait, what?
it
What's happening?
is. I'm okay with this. I will listen.
Right. Right.
Yes, I
So,
would love this
right. Now we
3D.
got all these ways to Google people. but
Exactly.
back then, like,
We
it's
didn't have
amazing and
that.
impressive that we were all able to follow him, especially knowing he's a California boy,
Yeah.
for most of his adult life, at least.
Yeah.
So we were on a completely different coast and they still made their way to us.
We still figured it out.
They also
Mhm.
have a lot of ties to the Richmond area, so that
That's
helps.
true.
That
That's
brings
true.
them
When he
back
was with
together.
Jax, that's like,
Yes.
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 So speaking of Richmond area and speaking of Jax, let us move on to Jax Mannequin,
Let's do this.
which there are 3 albums. I actually listened to People and Things for the first time, like right before we saw him last week.
Oh, yeah?
That was the first time I
Okay.
listened to it because I thought it was just Everything in Transit and Glass Passenger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I was like floored. So I just put it on and just let it play. And
Yeah.
it was a really good album. I
It is
really
a good
enjoyed
album.
it.
Yeah.
Like I was very taken aback that there
Yeah.
was another album out there because I thought it was just like 2 albums for something corporate, 2 albums for Jax, and
Right.
then I'm Andrew McMahon now, and this is just I do whatever the hell I want. Here are
Right.
like 4 or 5 albums, then everybody enjoy, please. So but yeah, that was the first time I listened to, which I was very glad that I listened to it
For
because he
sure.
played quite a few songs for that album
He
at the
did,
show
and I
last
love
week.
that because and it's been a long time. There's been lots of years in between these, and I didn't properly research because I don't even know if the history is out there online. But I feel like this album almost like went out at the same time that Jax was going away, and I don't
I think that's
remember
right. I think
if
that's in his
if
book.
okay, is that what it is? Okay.
I think so.
So I think that was part of why it's kind of a sleeper album in some ways, but
Yeah.
there are some really really great
Like
songs.
it's out there, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's very Operation Ivy-esque. Do you know
Yes.
that story?
I
The day
don't know.
they released their only album,
Uh-huh.
Energy, was the album release show, I think it was like 88 or 89 or
Uh-huh.
something like that, is the day the band broke up.
No
They
way.
played the album release show, and at the show they announced, "Hey, we're not a band anymore. This is our last show. But hey,
Damn.
enjoy the album." So
Holy shit.
it's just they never really got the tour on it. They never really got to
That's
do anything with it. It was
crazy.
just they were just like, "Here's our album. Adios. Good night, everyone."
Wow.
So,
We all hate each
but
other. Fuck you guys.
yes.
Fuck you
No,
guys.
that's
That's
the
what no.
thing. They didn't hate each other.
Oh,
They
they
just
didn't?
no.
Huh.
Like Jesse Michael and Tim Armstrong and Matt Freeman have all come out and said they didn't hate each other. It was just like, you know what? This isn't working for us right now. We all love each other still, but this isn't working for us,
That's
and we need to go our different
hilarious.
directions. I mean,
That's
how
good for
often do you get
them.
a band that does that?
Yeah.
Which we'll be
True.
talking about next week with Mike Engel. We'll be talking about Rancid and Operation Ivy. So
Oh,
that's a little
nice.
preview for next week's
There you
episode.
go. Look at that.
So I know, right? Go team. I just stumbled into that. But anyways,
Oh,
back to
so
Jack's
well done.
Mannequin.
So well
But
planned.
I know, right? But People and Things was just like one of those albums that I didn't even know existed. And then like doing some more research for this and
Sure.
obviously like wanting to know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Um I still would not put that as Jax's best album.
I would not either.
Uh, are we on the same wavelength on this?
I don't know.
To me,
I
it's go ahead. You know what? You're the guest. You tell
It's
me
okay.
what is your favorite Jax?
I have I have a deep love for Jack's Mannequin. So
Yes.
I think part of it is because we knew what Andrew was going through at the time.
Yes.
And this is where that leukemia talk that I was so awkwardly bringing up before.
Yes.
Here's where it really falls into play.
Excellent.
Knowing being the same age as these guys, growing up watching these punk bands go to these places like the Norva and the National, where
Hmm.
the end of the show they come out and you get to meet them, and all of these things. We didn't know them, hang out with them, we weren't friends with them, but we
No.
we met them. We felt like we were all kind of in that same world, that we understood each other, because there's just something different about punk rock music than
Oh yeah.
other genres. But we don't need to fight that, we all know that here. So Jax, I just felt so connected to this man's battle that he was going through, because he had impacted my life so much in something corporate, that being there for the Jax ride was partially because, thank God, Andrew's still doing music, and Everything in Transit is my favorite. This is where this is going, and Everything in Transit comes out. But then you look at something like The Glass Passenger, which has so much heart and heaviness and struggles,
100%.
but like how to overcome those struggles too, because of where he was in his life. And I hold on to so much love for the Glass Passenger album, because songs like Swim is my mental health
Oh,
song to the day that I die. Like I cry every time he does it live. I've actually got a tattoo of it now too. Like, that album means so much to me on an emotional level. But when I look at them from a which album is the best one that speaks to what Jax from that live energy perspective is, Everything in Transit, I think, was a amazing album, and I think he crushed it with that one.
100%. And that's the thing. That's another album, because I agree with you. Everything in Transit. Um, I think I started listening to Jax when Glass Passenger came out,
Mm-hmm.
but it was Everything in Transit that Caitlin
Mm-hmm.
really introduced me to Jax
Yeah.
Mannequin. And it honestly, it's very similar to Leaving Through the Window, where it's you can put it on and just let it play,
Yes.
and there's not a skippable song
No.
on the
Correct.
entire album. And I
Yeah.
that's one of those things about Andrew that I'm not going to say it's unique, but so many of his albums you could just put it on and just let it go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take a break, you don't have to skip a song, you just let it
Right.
go and you're going to be enjoying the ride the
Right.
entire time. And I'm just looking at the track listing, and I'm 100%, just about every single song I have on some form of a playlist
Mm.
on my Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's just Everything in Transit is perfect. Glass Passenger felt more I it felt more personal and more real,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just something about Everything in Transit that just front to back makes a perfect album.
Agreed.
So I I don't want to take away anything from like People and Things and Glass Passenger, because
Sure.
both of those
Sure.
albums are so good and you can just put it on and let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But Everything in Transit is just it's a different level
It
than,
is.
and in all honesty, I would probably put that up against Leaving Through the Window as some of his best work.
It's funny when we get to the top three albums. It's going to be an interesting conversation, because
Oh,
I
it's
don't
not top three
know.
albums, Foster. It's top three songs.
Oh my god, this is going to be so hard.
I know. It's like making having to decide who your favorite child is.
It is,
Which is
because
kind of
I
easy for us because each of us has just one child.
I, I know we've never had to do this before. This is really hard. I almost am certain on most days that as much nostalgia and as many times as I've seen something corporate live, and I will love them to the day I die, there's something special about Jack's Mannequin that I think takes the lead for me in the battle of those two bands.
I will agree.
Yeah.
Mostly because I haven't seen something corporate.
It's a great
But
time, and there's some
I
serious
don't deny that.
nostalgia.
Well, considering that we have seen Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness and he does incorporate something corporate
Yeah, that's
into
true.
those shows, I
That's
feel
true.
like I have at least seen I've listened to the music live, or at
Right.
least a lot of like, especially the more well-known songs.
Yeah,
Especially hearing Constantine,
it's a great one.
hearing that live was
There's nothing like
next
it.
level. That is just something completely different.
Yeah,
So especially like listening to like almost a 10-minute long song and it's like
exactly.
doesn't feel like 10 minutes has passed. It's just like
No,
it feels like it just began and it was over in an instant and it makes me sad.
I
So
know. It's wild. It's
it,
wild to think about. I always think it's fun to throw a little Taylor thing in when we talk about Constantine, only
of course.
because Andrew used to always say when, or he still does, whenever he goes to play Constantine, he always says something like, "Do you guys have 10 minutes to spare?" or something like that. Taylor Swift has started doing the exact same thing in the Eras tour when she does All Too Well, because it's a 10-minute long song and she's like, "Do you guys have 10 minutes?" And I'm like, that was Andrew's line, first of all, and he had the 10-minute song first. But I love them both. This isn't Taylor hate.
There is
I
no Taylor
love
hate here.
that
All
there
right.
is
She
Andrew
is
and Taylor that both have that special 10-minute song, because we all know Taylor loves a little punk rock. She's mentioned
that's
starting live.
true.
She's been seen singing with lead
She had
singer Haley from Paramore and Chris
she
Glauber
had
from John
Paramore
Ford.
when I think Sally, when she saw Taylor in Switzerland or Sweden or
Yeah,
wherever else she went, Paramore opened.
that's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
she's into
I've
the scene.
I've got nothing but love for Taylor Swift.
I
I
know,
mean,
me
she
too.
is
And I know that's not what we're talking about. I just think
no.
it's fun that there's
sh-
that like little emo connection there.
I would love to see Andrew open for Taylor. I
Oh
think
my
that would be
God.
fantastic.
I think that her fan base would enjoy him. I
I
really
think
do.
so too. I think if
I
they just
really do.
open up their hearts and minds,
Yeah,
that they would love Andrew McMahon,
I
no
think
matter
so.
what iteration, whether it's
I
something
think so.
corporate Jax or Andrew McMahon in the wilderness.
Hell yeah.
So,
Anyway, back to
speaking of
Andrew.
Andrew McMahon in the wilderness, I'm really getting good at these segues.
You
Um,
are
so this is where he has technically four albums.
correct.
Andrew
I think
McMahon in the
that's right.
Wilderness.
Yeah,
It's his self-titled Zombies on Broadway, Upside Down Flowers, and then Tilt Up to Win No More, which came out in 2023.
that's right. Okay.
I think he's actually working on some new stuff because I think a song he did a split or a song with someone that came out in May,
Oh yeah, I saw that in Apple Music.
Michigander. Yeah, called Spitting Image. I haven't listened to it. I'm just now seeing this, so
Yeah, I don't know if I've listened to it either.
no. So, I like Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. It's definitely different than what we were used to with Jax and Something
Yeah,
Corporate, because that both Jax and Something Corporate felt very similar to each other.
agreed.
Jax definitely felt more personal and felt more
Hmm.
maybe less of the punk rock than
Hmm.
Something Corporate was.
Hmm.
Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is just like Andrew saying, "Hey, I still love my roots, but I want to do something completely different."
Yeah.
Like very more synth heavy,
Hmm.
um, still piano led in spots,
Hmm.
um, but definitely taking his ideas and his art to a different direction than what
Hmm.
the trajectory he was on.
Yeah.
So, uh,
I think you're right. I think some of it just comes maybe with just with growing up in some ways. I mean, I
yeah,
still love my punk rock music too, don't get me wrong, but I can't concert like that nearly as
no.
well as I used to anymore.
Oh
So,
no, it's very difficult. I've every single time. So I have a friend. His name is Fish, and well,
great name.
that's his last name. Very similar to you. He's only known by one name, and that is
I love
Fish. Um, and every single time we go to a concert together, he's like, "Yeah, let's get into Pit." I'm like, no. Maybe one day I will again. Uh, Honestly, probably Supernova, just because like Skank Pits are like way calmer
I could see
and like
that.
not nearly as violent as
Yeah.
some of
As
the
a punk
shows we've been
bit.
to. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was like we saw Alkaline Trio and Bad Religion, and he wanted to
Uh,
go into Pit. I'm like, you go right on ahead. I'll be right here waiting for you. Let me hold your beer for you. I
right.
promise it'll still be here when you get back. Um, but it does feel like Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is definitely way different than um, anything else he had done before that. It's still
Yeah.
incredibly well done,
Yes.
but
Yes. And so fun
way
live.
different. Oh, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
what saw Jax like a handful of times,
Uh-huh.
and then it was once again Jax just kind of disappeared. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't until you and JJ were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, here's this concert coming up. Do you guys want to go?" And I'm like, "Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness? Who the hell is Andrew McMahon?" It's Andrew McMahon. Oh, okay. So he's gonna play like Jax and something corporate stuff? No, he has an actual entirely different band now.
Right.
And I was like,
Yes.
oh, so there are these songs. Well, let me go listen to these songs, I guess. So, and it was incredibly different,
Yeah.
but still incredibly well done.
Yes.
So,
Yes. He is a true artist.
yes,
I don't think that all bands are. I don't think all artists are, or all musicians are, but he is a true artist
that's true.
for
I will give
sure.
you that. Do you have a favorite album that he's done for Andrew
I
McMahon in the
do.
Wilderness?
I do. It is not the first album this time.
Oh, damn. All right.
It is not. Zombies on Broadway is my favorite. It is
We are
a
in
bang.
sync, Foster.
You know what? I'm not surprised, honestly.
Neither am I.
It is a banger. It is so fun. It's got its slow songs too, like as every album should.
Yep.
But Fire Escape, God,
Hmm.
such a good song.
Island
There,
Radio.
yes, there's
Oh,
so many. Like everything is just Dead Man's Dollar. Like they're all. I'm looking at the full list now. Like they're
yeah,
all shot out of a cannon. That's such a fun one to watch him do live. Like
that's true.
they're just good songs. They're fun. They're fun songs.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I would give it to. Is that one? I feel like felt like this is the Andrew that I knew.
Yes.
That his first album, I was like, okay, I'm following along. It's good, but I'm not feeling like it's my Andrew. But then Zombies on Broadway came out, and I was like, okay, this is still my dude. Like
Oh, yeah.
we're still in sync. Okay, I got this.
Like there are some good songs on the self-titled.
Yes,
Obviously,
there are.
Celia and the
Yeah.
Satellite, High
Uh,
Dive. Uh,
yes.
there's some good stuff, but Zombies on Broadway was probably I would have to agree is probably my favorite album he did.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Walking in My Sleep, Shot Out of a Cannon, like you said, both great
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
Uh, and obviously Island Radio. That's
Yeah. It's great.
probably would not say is my favorite Andrew McMahon in the
Uh-huh.
Wilderness song,
Uh-huh.
but it would definitely top three, at least top five. So
I could
just
see
something
that.
about Island Radio. It's
Yeah,
just
no, I get it. It's a great song.
um,
It's a great song. The second best album I think was the third one, the Upside Down Flowers one. But
yeah,
I really have some nostalgia for that one because of Teenage Rock Stars,
yeah.
because that one kind of like hits on again that Andrew history and like brings him again full circle. Like he just does a good job of throwing in those little Easter eggs and guilty pleasures that we all like.
Oh yeah. Honestly, Tilt at the Wind No More, his
Really?
latest full
It's
length,
a good album.
was maybe it's because it was really when I started getting into Andrew McMahon in the
Uh-huh.
Wilderness,
Uh-huh.
and that one had just come out, and honestly, it was the like probably after Zombies on Broadway and listening to the uh his self-titled, this is the one
Yeah.
that really kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
And there was just
I
something about it that was just really good. Obviously, like Smoke and Ribbons,
yeah.
my favorite song personally by Andrew
Uh-huh.
McMahon in Wilderness is on this album, and I will talk about that in a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but there's just something about this album. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Like,
It is a good album. It
but
was a great live performance that year too. Like that tour,
yes.
because you, me, and Caitlin all went to that one. That was a fun,
Yes.
fun
Oh
tour.
my God. That was such because we went to Dirty Buffalo before and then we went
That's
to the
right.
show.
That's
Yes,
right.
that was
Yeah.
so much fun. I had
It
such a good
was.
time.
It
So,
was.
and I lost my Andrew McMahon shirt when I was in New York. I think I
Oh
left it at the
no.
Airbnb. When we went to
Oh,
Grandpa's birthday party,
Oh
I
yeah.
I left my shirt. Otherwise, I would have a something corporate shirt, a Jack shirt, and an Andrew
Oh,
McMahon
that
awareness
is so
shirt.
sad. Yeah, I wore
Um,
my Jacks from the tour that we went to. Was that last week? This
that
yeah, just
was
this
last
week.
Thursday. That was a
Woo,
week ago today.
it's a whirlwind.
Yes, it is. It
Good
feels
time.
like it was yesterday, but it also felt
It
like it was a
does.
year ago.
Yeah.
So,
I
although
understand that.
I am wearing my something corporate shirt, which that little kid was wearing the same exact shirt.
I love
This was
that.
a shirt I was thinking about wearing to the show, but then decided not to be that guy.
Yeah.
So, because my wife
It's
told me
okay.
not to be that guy.
It's okay, but it wasn't a Jack show. So,
Oh,
I mean, it
that's
wasn't a
true.
something corporate show. So,
Exactly. So it works. So,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
Foster, I'm now
No
going to
good.
make you do something
Okay.
that is going to be the hardest thing. It does not have to be in any particular order if you
Okay.
don't want it to be, but we're going with the top three.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you need a moment to think?
I mean, I'm going to regret whatever I say tomorrow because it'll probably change tomorrow.
It is interchangeable. I will
Yeah,
say this. This is never really like it. This is written down in pencil. It
I
could
got
easily be erased
you.
and
Okay.
rewritten down.
Woo!
But for
Okay.
for right now, because I say this like every single episode I do is like when I, especially my three and my two, I am
Yeah.
always like, yeah, this could be pretty interchangeable. So it could be a completely different song tomorrow.
I get
So
that.
my
I get
number
that.
one is usually my number one, but
Yeah.
this is Foster. What is your number three? Or
Okay.
pretend number three. It could be
I,
something else.
I pretend number three. So I'm going to say some of my favorite songs do not even apply to my favorite albums. So
Same.
spoiler alert in saying that. Okay. This is so hard. Like
Isn't it?
I feel like I'm betraying him no matter what I do. As soon as you post this and Andrew watches it,
I don't think he will, but I'll pretend.
I know
I know.
I'm wishful thinking for us both.
Oh God,
What's
wouldn't
up,
that be
Andrew?
nice? Hi, Andrew. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
We listen to you all the time and we love you.
Yes, we do. We
Okay,
met to
sorry.
we met your bassist, by the way. He was a very
We
nice
did.
gentleman.
We met him last week, just
We
walking down the
did.
street by himself.
Just wandering and just like, oh, who's that guy? You
Yeah.
knew. I had no
I
clue.
slapped him and was like, hey, let's take a picture.
Let's be best friends. Can we follow you, please?
He didn't mind at all. It was fine.
No, not at all. It was great. Anyways, number three.
Okay,
Number three.
okay. Here we go. It's hard to not put Constantine on a list. I don't know if it would still fall in my top three or if it would start to fall back a little bit because over time I've changed, so like
Yeah,
I look at songs differently now than I used to. If you had
100%.
asked me these questions 20 years ago, 100% Constantine would have been number one on the list. There's no doubt about it.
It
Uh,
is an amazing song to see live, but it does not
yes,
necessarily mean it is his best song, in our opinion.
correct. Exactly.
Yes.
So, that being said, I'm not going to say Constantine as much as if you know me, it would be a very obvious a very obvious answer one would
Yeah.
think. Okay. I am going to throw Fire Escape up there
Nice.
off of Zombies on Broadway because it is too good. Too good to not. It's great live. It's one of my favorite songs. So I don't know where I'd put them in 1, 2, and 3 order, but I would definitely put Fire Escape on that list.
Okay. All right. So I did mine a little differently,
Oh,
or
did you?
slightly differently.
Okay.
I picked one song from each iteration, each phase of his existence.
Oh, okay. So you go first. Let me not finish
Well,
yet.
no, 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 no. Well, we're gonna go
Okay.
back and forth. So
Oh,
you did one.
okay.
I will now do my number three.
I got you. Okay.
So I will go in his phases. So we're starting
Okay.
with something corporate.
Okay.
And there's so many great songs that he did.
Mm-hmm.
But there has always been one song that has stuck out to me. And as much as I like Forget December, as much as Constantine is such a great song, if you see
Sure.
Jordan, uh, Drunk Girl, Oh, it's such a funny song, such a fun song. Um, the single best song I think he did with Something Corporate was Globes and Maps.
That's a great song.
That song just, you will notice for all three songs that I'm picking, at least
Uh,
three and two, the Jackson and Something Corporate song, are slower
uh,
songs
yeah,
and are just they hit you in the feels.
yeah, for
And
sure.
Globes and Maps has something about it that just, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's
I,
a great song.
it is so good.
It is a
So,
great song.
yeah.
Well, if we're gonna go
You don't
in
have to do it.
band
It's just
back
how
to
I've
back,
decided to do things.
I mean, I like your style. Gosh, I thought I was confident in my three until now. I do want to give a nod to Something Corporate
Yeah.
for sure. I have a newer guilty pleasure that is not one of his normal songs, and it's not really on any of these albums.
Okay, what is it?
Watch Watch the Sky.
Yes! Oh my God,
Such
that song is amazing.
a good song.
Watch the
It
Sky is like what? Was it on Audio Boxer
it
or
was what's the one it
hold
came
on.
out later on that
Oh my God, I
was
know
it
what you're
the
talking
one with the
about.
astronaut on the cover?
Yes, hold on. I'm looking for it because now I need to. Oh my God. 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 Hold on. I'm looking
I
for
now
it.
I've got to look it up.
I know what you're talking about. I
It is.
100%
It was on Played in
is
Space, the
Played in
best of
Space.
Something Corporate. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Which was
song is so
technically a
amazing.
compilation album, but I think it's the first time that we got Constantine on an album
Yes.
and a couple other ones,
Watch the
maybe.
Sky,
Watch
Forget
the Sky.
December, Letters to Noel. Oh,
Yes.
another amazing song.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that
It
song.
was
It's
wait.
still Globes and Maps, but
Great. You can't go wrong with that.
no,
It's a great
no, no,
choice.
no, no, no.
But I would go Walking By.
Watch the Sky, you mean?
Sorry, not Walking. I love Walking By. Damn it.
Walking
I
By
just
is such a
got
great
it
song
on the list.
too.
It was just right in front of me.
Oh my God.
It is a great song.
It is a
But I
great
think I
song.
would go Watch the Sky.
That is a great song. Oh man, that is a great song. All right. Sorry. All right.
No, it's okay.
So,
I like this. I like this. Pick one from each. This is good.
yes.
This honestly might be easier.
So, I done something corporate. Now it's time for Jax.
Okay.
And surprisingly enough, it's a song that is not on Everything in Transit.
Interesting. Okay.
It's from Glass Passenger.
Uh-huh.
It's Hammers and Strings.
It's a great it's so good.
I remember hearing it live for the first time, and I'm just
Yeah.
like this just rock me to sleep. There's just something about this song
Yeah.
that Caitlin hates it. It is
Really?
it is her least favorite Jack
Oh,
song,
that's
but she
crazy.
knows how much I love it.
Yeah.
And Hammers and Strings is so good. Oh my God, it's
It is a
so
great
good.
song.
I there's
And
just something
I
like
actually cried when he did that one the other night, only because he had just talked about, again, reliving this leukemia stuff and everything. And then he
yeah,
played that song, and I was like, dude,
like
holy
I don't need
shit.
this shit right now. All right, come
Oh
on.
my God.
All right, Foster.
All right, Jax, I would pick Swim. There's
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
no
say you
way.
have a tattoo of it. You kind of have to.
Exactly. Exactly. Firescape would be my second favorite if I had to pick, But anyway,
Yeah,
Swim. It's got to be.
Swim. Great song.
Yes.
Also from Glass Passenger.
It is. I know. Look at
Yes.
that. Look at
All
that.
right. So now we're going to the final phase of Andrew's career right now, or at least for
Yes.
now. Andrew
Yes.
McMahon in the Wilderness.
You better not change it again. I like where we're at. This way we can keep following him. The wilderness can change. He can stay the
Yes,
same.
see, that's the thing. Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, it feels like it could be anything he wants it to be.
Exactly.
So, but surprisingly enough, this, what I would consider my favorite song that he's done is On Tilt at the Wind No More. It is
Oh,
probably
okay.
my favorite song he's done live
Really? Uh-huh.
from this phase of his career.
Uh-huh.
It's Stars.
It's a great song. I'm surprised that you said that though. I don't know why. I don't know what I was expecting.
It is the one song, no matter what, I want to listen to.
Right.
If I put on Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, and I have a couple playlists where it's like I made it when we saw him,
Yeah.
Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. I made just like a best of Andrew where I took all three
Uh-huh.
phases of his career and just kind of made a playlist.
Uh-huh.
Every single time, I just want to listen to Stars. I can listen to it on repeat. It is just such a
It
good
is a
song.
good song.
There's I forgot. There's some lyrics to that song that just have always stuck with me, and it was on the shirt that I had that I lost. And if
Oh
I could
no.
find it again one day, I will fucking find it one day. But there's just something about that song that is just
Yeah.
so perfect and that I just want to listen to. It's not slow. It is not. It's so deep and meaningful that but
Yeah.
it's just that song is just good. It's just
It
fucking
is.
good.
I like the
And
way that he performs that one live with the
yes,
stars.
yes,
It's beautiful the way that they lay that out.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is I think we both had this is a solid list. Go us.
I know.
You're second guessing everything, aren't you?
I am a little bit, but I'm okay with it. I'm just looking at these songs again and I'm like, did I make the right choices? I don't even
I
know
didn't
anymore.
talk about this.
I know there's so many songs.
We
There's
did not talk about North at all.
which is wild, but it's okay because we
Yeah,
did bring up some songs, kind of
yes, some
ish.
a little bit ish.
Ish.
So,
Well, there's still love.
oh
There's still
yeah,
love.
North was great. It was a good album, but
It
just
was.
leaving through the window was just like I said, another level. It's
Yeah,
just something
exactly.
else. So, all right,
Exactly.
well, with that, with our top threes being done,
This was a blast.
the Andrew McMahon episode has come to an end, and Foster will be released back into the wilderness,
And just
where she,
go.
where she
Listen to
will.
all of the songs I didn't put on that top three list.
I'm sure we have talked about doing a Taylor Swift roundtable with Caitlin and her sister, and I will just stand here and be like, yes, of course, that is, you're correct, because we do actually have three vinyls of Taylor Swift.
Oh
Uh,
wow, nice.
Caitlin found the her first one,
Uh-huh.
her first album, like when she was still country.
Oh no way.
Yeah, she over at Vinny's Vinyl. I've mentioned them before on this show.
Oh
Over
fun.
Newport News, favorite record shop I go to. I love that place. Vinny is such a nice dude, and he's got a
That's
cat.
awesome. I didn't even
Just
know that we still had anything like that around here. I gotta look into
there's
that.
a few. No,
Huh.
Rhonda got me a record player for Christmas,
Nice.
and I've just been like collecting ever since.
I love that. That's
I
really
found
cool.
a live Ramones album from like
Oh, nice.
1977. Uh,
Wow.
I found a Green Day live album from 1994. Like
Wow.
I'm having fun collecting. It
That is
is
amazing.
it is it is really fun to listen to too. So,
I bet.
uh, but so our Andrew McMahon episode is over. Maybe we'll do a Taylor Swift episode.
I'm down.
Maybe whatever Foster wants to do. Foster is always welcome back on this show because I this is probably also the longest show I've done in quite a while too.
Oh, damn. Sorry. I'm
No,
long.
not at all. This is perfect. This is wonderful.
We'll
Uh,
just do a round two so that we can still talk about all of the other
yes, we'll
songs.
talk about North and we'll talk about people and things to, and then we'll talk about other upside down flowers. Um, or with Andrew. You know what I actually kind of want to do, and this is kind of like a little nod to what I may do in the future,
Mm,
is like the bands that I've already covered, like
yeah.
talked about first, last, and best.
Uh-huh.
Like if that band puts out a new album, like go
Oh,
back and do like a review of that album with whoever did
yes.
that episode with me.
I
I think
love
that'd be
that.
fun. I
I
think that'd
love
be a good
that.
time.
See, eventually Andrew's going to get to the point where we're just going to need to do it in the wilderness section because he's going to have
That's
some of these
true. We
albums.
might have to do that, but
So,
he's getting there.
yeah.
So,
And if that happens, then we have to redo this. Oh, God.
That's
We better
hard.
get busy. Wait, he should get busy first. Make those
Yes.
albums.
Make the albums first, then we'll go back to it.
That's
So.
right.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next week, where Mike Engel will be back, and we'll be discussing Operation Ivy and Rancid. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.